Good afternoon, Mr. Bezos. We are Moonshoot Consulting, and you are gatherers here today to evaluate the performance of the strategic partnership between Amazon and Future Group. We have concluded that the mode of entry was correctly chosen, but we recommend that we should set up clear goals on several aspects, put up a disciplinary team fostering cultural fit, and help Future Group evolve as a company, improving organizational fit. Going through our agenda, our presentation is divided into 4 moments, where we analyze the entry, then the partner selection, our recommendation, and then a quick summary. Now, Pedro Nunes is going to start by analyzing the Amazon entry in India.
Thank you, Julio. Moving on now to the entry mode analysis, did Amazon use the most appropriate one when decided to go for the Indian market? Let us analyze that. Regarding commitment, it is our understanding that growth and regulation are 2 important drivers, as they push commitment levers upwards. Risk does not seem to play a very important role here, as the firm does not face as much risk as if it were a full-fledged retailer in the country. Intense competition and business infrastructure also increase the level of commitment for Amazon, while on the other hand, the cultural distance actually decreases it. Another important aspect to take into account in entry mode is control. And when it comes to that, clearly the needs of Amazon, its ambition and ability to deploy its resources increase the level of control. The long-run focus of the company and its expertise on data analytics also makes it high. Now moving on to analyzing competitive advantage, the VRIO framework clearly shows that Amazon logistic chain and marketplace, combined with Future Group retail chain and its idiosyncratic Indian character, imply a sustained competitive advantage by acting together in the market. We will address this partnership right away, but first, let us go for internalization versus externalization and what is the most appropriate for Amazon. Can you help us out, Andre?
Thank you, Pedro. Actually, I can. Mr. Bezos, let's start by analyzing internal factors. Amazon is a huge company with high international experience, although not yet in India. From a global perspective, the delivery of goods presents a medium complexity, while logistics and marketplace have high differentiation advantages. Therefore, these factors point to an internalization entry mode. On the other hand, external factors present a different picture. The high levels of social cultural distance, demand uncertainty, market size and growth, and intensity of competition all point to an externalization entry mode. Moving on with the analysis, when we look at transaction-specific factors, representing the advantage and safety of outsourcing, there is medium level of tacit nature of know-how, as some functions are not difficult to transfer. It's also not very likely that partners will present opportunistic behavior, since not many secrets will be revealed. Thus, an intermediate entry mode fits this situation. The same thing happens with desired mode characteristics, with medium level of risk averse, high control, and low flexibility. With that in mind, the costs of internalization are higher than the market costs, hence there are no internalization advantages. Combining all these analyses, we find out that despite the high levels of commitment, control, and competitive advantage, the fact that cost of externalizing is lower than cost of internalizing drives the choice towards an intermediate mode of entry. That's exactly what the OLI framework shows us. First, are there ownership advantages? RBV states that yes. But second, are there internalization advantages? No, so the best mode would be a contractual resource transfers. To conclude, among hierarchical, intermediate, and export modes, we have seen that intermediate is the best one. Among the options, franchising, licensing, contract manufacturing, and management contract does not fit Amazon's strategy. So we came up with joint venture and strategic alliance. Between them, we are confident that strategic alliance is the best, due to less need for integration. So, we conclude that strategic alliance was the right choice for Amazon. And with that, we finish this session. Time to move forward to the next one. Andre, can you tell us more about the partnership?
Thank you, Andre. Now that we have analyzed Amazon's entry into India, let's move on to analyze whether the two companies fit. The analysis is going to be done by analyzing different criteria to understand how well the companies actually fit together. The first item that we will look at is strategic fit. This in turn will be analyzed by looking at strategic importance, need for a partner, and strategic agenda. Analyzing the strategic importance, Amazon requires an offline presence in India, while Future Group requires an online presence to increase their respective market share. Therefore, in terms of strategic importance, both Amazon and Future Group's need is high. Moving on to the need for a partner, Future Group requires the know-how for them to become an online presence, while Amazon requires to partner with an Indian company to comply with regulations. Therefore, Amazon and Future Group's need of a partner is high. Moving on to the strategic agendas, things start to mismatch. Amazon wants to create and grow its business around the world, and especially in one of the biggest growing markets, while Future Group wants to get more capabilities in terms of operating online due to not having an online presence and other failed attempts at this. This mismatch leads to a problematic fit. Now that we concluded the strategic fit, we will move on to the capabilities fit, where the products, processes, knowledge, resources, and assets of each company will be assessed. Comparing the two companies, there are quite a few gaps in the 5 different aspects, which provide some opportunities for the partnership. Future Group lacks the online capabilities and its market share is decreasing, while Amazon is lacking offline presence in India and lacks a fashion channel. This definitely provides some opportunities for both companies, but there are some things that both companies possess, which are the logistic systems and distribution centers. Pedro, can you please explain how the two companies fit culturally?
Thank you, Andre. Now, at this point, we'll evaluate the cultural fit between the two partners, assessing 3 dimensions: their performance, their competitive approach, and their management and leadership style. Let's continue analyzing cultural differences between Amazon and Future Group. Culture is very important because culture is like the DNA. You can only grow upon it, you can never change it. And Amazon's culture regarding performance, they want to achieve high growth through lower margins, a different perspective than the one from Future Group that wants to achieve limited growth through high margins. Regarding a competitive approach, Amazon has a more aggressive way of doing business. They target discounts on high-tech based products, while Future Group has a policy of no discounts on medium products and that are mainly sold through brick and mortar. On their managing style, Amazon has a silicon way of doing things, with a low-trust organization, an informal organization, and has a motivation to achieve global dominance. While Future Group has a more Bangalore style, with high trust, but a lot of more formality. This cultural difference points to some issues in the future. Continuing with this analysis, we will evaluate the organization fit between Amazon and Future Group, looking into their structural differences and systems and processes. Accessing the different organizational stages of Amazon and Future Group, we can conclude that Amazon has a more decentralized, standardized, and no specialization, more focus on high IT, and as expected, this company has a more focus on IT and technology, while Future Group has a central, formalized, old brick-and-mortar retail specialization with low quality and IT and no emphasis on teamwork and company. This is what we can call a tech laggard. These differences point to a no success in the alliance. And let's analyze more dimensions of this partnership. Gonçalo, can you tell us more about that?
Thank you, Pedro. Regarding financial fit, it is relevant to analyze balance sheet and P&L statements. Future Group's gross profit is much higher than Amazon, always over 5 times Amazon's along the period, and this is reinforced by the net profit comparison. In addition, Future Group's equity is 10 times higher than Amazon, and in terms of total liabilities, the Indian retailer has 30 times higher values than the American e-commerce company. Overall, it is clear that both companies have complementary resources and a strategic fit. However, the differences embedded in the culture and organization overwhelm the benefits that a partnership could get from this relationship, at least with the current conditions. The lack of financial fit is also evident, but the difference is normal as both companies have completely different business models and should not be regarded as a main concern at this stage. Therefore, Amazon and Future Group are far from a fit that allows this strategic partnership to have success. Now, it's time for the recommendations. After our detailed analysis of the entry mode and the selection of Future Group as partner, Moonshot Consulting recommends Amazon to take action in order to thrive in the Indian market. At this stage, Amazon needs to choose among 3 alternatives. The first one is to keep the current situation, the second to adapt and negotiate agreements to improve the lack of fit, and the third one, the option to exit the partnership with Future Group. However, Amazon should take into account the consequences of each scenario. For the keep option, it is expected that the relationship will deteriorate even further the relation, putting at the stake the success of the project. For the adapt option, both parties need to engage in agreements to leverage on their complementarity. For the exit option, Amazon needs to find new potential partners in order to succeed in India, and this can be a setback in the internationalization strategy if not properly prepared. Therefore, we recommend the adapt option sustained by a strong mitigation plan.
First, the Siddhartha Agreement should define clear guidelines for the hot topics where the companies misalign since the beginning of the partnership. Agree on discount policies that balance both interests, define KPIs and targets to track and measure the relationship, include an exclusivity policy so that Amazon is the only online retailer of Future Group's products. Second, set a multidisciplinary team dedicated to the alignment of the cultural fit, the so-called Mahatma Gandhi Task Force. Third, create the Taj Mahal method to improve operational and logistics processes that contribute for the organizational fit.
However, we also need the mitigation plan, and for this 3 main risks were identified. First, the cultural fit might not succeed despite the new initiative, and for this Amazon should prepare the exit. Second, the alliance conflict can increase, and for this Amazon should hire a consultancy firm to have a backup plan about potential alternative partners. Third, in case of decreasing operational profits, Amazon should focus on aligning incentives. Now, Julio, can you please put everything together?
Of course, Gonçalo. Let's put everything together. In conclusion, strategic alliance was the right mode of entry, as Amazon needs high levels of commitment and control, and Indian laws require partnerships with local companies. Strategic agendas show that there might be a problematic fit between the 2 companies, with financial and organizational fit to suggest divergences, representing a poor overall fit. Our recommendation is to adapt the terms of the partnership, setting up clear goals on several aspects, fostering cultural and organizational fit, with the risk mitigation plan in case you don't succeed. We strongly believe that with this recommendation, we can help Amazon put this partnership on the right path. We are not going in circles, we are going upwards. The path is a spiral. We have already climbed many steps. Thank you for your attention, Mr. Bezos. We are happy to answer any of your questions.